go.
Super excited today. I have on my brother, my best friend, my business partner, Vito Ciambriello. V, awesome to have you on.
Dude, I am pumped up. I've been excited for this for a while. I'm happy we're doing it.
I love it. So we said we were going to hop on today to talk a little bit about us getting into the mortgage business because we got started full-time around the same time within a month. Mm-hmm. We were going to talk about growing up, some of the business endeavors and just things we did that kind of like shaped our mentality for, you know, I guess running a business, being self-employed, wanting to go out and accomplish more. And then just talk about where we are today with AFC, where we're headed, what we have planned for this year. We got a great crew that we're building out and we're hopefully going to continue to build, and we want to grow with sales members, LOs, also the states we're licensed in, and everything that's going to help take us to the next level. So very excited. Let's start with the beginning.
Yeah.
How did we get started?
Dude, I feel like since you and I have grown up, we've always had like mom and dad pushing us to go off, be entrepreneurs, run our own business, do our own thing. And mom running her own business, dad starting AFC Mortgage Group kind of pushed us. So that was a huge, huge push, I think. But even growing up, like you and me, I remember our first thing that we did together was a lemonade stand. We got dropped off at Tashua Elementary School with Vinny DeMore, Maddie DeMore, putting up a chair, tables, and selling lemonade for, you know, all of our summers. So really since the beginning, hustling, doing stuff like that, I think really set us apart. And
I mean, the lemonade stand's great, but there's so much that goes into that with actually running a business that it's not just a lemonade stand. It was being at a stop sign on the corner where cars had to stop and you could flag them down and easily have great kind of just real estate, have great location to sell. You then, you know, how much did we charge for lemonade versus like, you know, if somebody's got cash on them, there's no Venmo at the time. This is almost 15 years ago. So people that were, you know, paying $1.25, they're probably not, they're going to be more likely to tip $2.
yeah.
So they're not going to, you know.
The marketing play that we had around that was just phenomenal.
We started with lemonade. We ended up adding lemon ice. We ended up adding like protein bars-ish at the time. What else did we have going on?
I don't know what we had. We had everything, and it helped build our sales skills so much. I feel it was a great just like foundation.
It was
looking back on it now.
I remember having you and Maddie DeMore be like the runners, the guys that would go out and like flag cars down and like kind of reel them in, and then we would. I think, I don't know if I was the books.
Yeah.
And Vinny was like the operations of actually making and getting the lemonade out the door.
Too funny, man.
But so funny. So started with lemonade stands. We had some commission-only jobs growing up. What were those?
Yeah, we refereed high school basketball, elementary school basketball on the weekends.
And we started with umpiring.
Umpiring, too. Yeah, baseball games for, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds.
Little League.
Growing up, exactly.
So what was lemonade stand like for you? Tell me, like, what did you remember about actually doing the lemonade stand?
The biggest thing I remember was the atmosphere. Us going out, hustling from like 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning until 12 or 1
I was going to say,
2 o'clock.
We probably ended around around lunchtime, 1
yeah,
o'clock.
And we would just be on our own, just hustling, doing our own things. And then at the end of the day, counting up the money. How much did we make? How much went towards supplies? All right, let's go to Stop and Shop, pick up some more, whatever the scoop was to make.
Crystal Light maybe, or
the hustle, dude. Always doing
Well, we
something.
started with Crystal Light, by the way, and then we branched up into better and better quality products.
Exactly.
Seriously, it was a business.
Yeah. Got to start with the minimum there.
Yeah.
But no, the hustle of it, definitely.
Mm-hmm. What about umpiring? Because I think umpiring is if you're 16, I mean, I think I started at 14, but if you're 14, 13, and you're umpiring Little League, so 8 or 9-year-olds, this is probably still available today. It definitely is. I was making $60 a game at like 15 years old for 2 hours of work, $30 an hour. Sometimes the games would be an hour and a half. You do 2 games in a row, it was $120 at a time when other people were making like $12 minimum wage. Whether, it might have been hot some days, whatever. But if you work 3-4 games in a day, if you work 4 games, long day, but you make $240, That was awesome.
After 2-3 weeks, you're bringing in $1,000 as a 13, 14-year-old. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
That was solid. So it's a great way to, and it's kind of commission based because the more you work there, the more you get paid. So I liked it for that reason. What'd you learn from that? Because you deal with a lot of different personalities, and at a young age, you're
big time
managing expectations.
Snap decisions you've got to make on the spot. You know, especially umpiring, out safe calls. You get a lot of people coming at you with, 50% of the people I feel like aren't going to be happy any decision you make, but you just have to like deal with the consequences, make the decision, back up the decision. High pressure, more high pressure than anything. The lemonade stand for sure.
Definitely, because the lemonade stand, there wasn't a lot of downside. Like we're serious, but not joking, dead serious. Like, worst thing that happens is like you get another cup if you spilled it. Umpiring, definitely there's, calls being made, split decision that have an impact. Me personally, I remember like making a call, and then right or wrong, you have to explain why you did that, what you saw. And even if you made a mistake, hey, here's what I saw, and here was the mistake that, whether I was right or wrong, this is what I saw. If I screwed up, I apologize, but this is the way I saw it.
And communication, huge.
100%.
So I think that definitely helped shape us a little bit. And then going on that, some other jobs we had, besides the umpiring, the refereeing, non-commission was being a busboy. And that was like...
That was non-commission. That was like we were hourly.
Yeah, that was not good.
We really didn't even get tips, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
We were at a local restaurant banquet, which was like fun. It was a job. I don't know if it was fun. I don't know why we did it.
It was good experience.
It was a great experience.
Now we know what we don't want to do.
So we weren't even busboys. We were working at like, I don't even know. I was a busboy one time at a local restaurant, no longer around in Bridgeport. Moved locations for literally one day, and I said F that, and I don't think I went back just because I'd rather umpire games, and it was like clearly just a better way of life and at the time. So that's funny.
Yeah.
So grew up in Trumbull. We went to Tashua Elementary till the 5th grade, Madison till the 8th grade. What was that like?
It was great, dude. I remember just like being super involved in sports.
Yep.
Everything we did together. Play dates.
Yep.
I feel like every sports game, practice we were together at.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome, man. Growing up in Trumbull was the best.
It was, yeah. I loved growing up, like the growing up we had. But I live in Trumbull now. I say there's not enough to do downtown, but the amount of fun we had and the guys we hung out with were great. We had some great guys. I mean, I was thinking like when we were catching up on this, some of the stories we had.
Some of the videos too.
Oh my God, the videos. But I was laughing at pool basketball. And we had volleyball, basketball, but I remember having like, Nico Organiso over one time. We had like 10 guys in pool basketball, and he was, dunking on people, and literally, it was a madhouse with some of the guys we had over. It was like a murder scene.
Yeah, literally.
So funny.
And then, Madison, then went to Prep with you, year behind, and then Fordham as well. Prep was awesome, man. Best 4 years. They were just a blast. Great camaraderie, good guys, good crew. And then Fordham was great as well. Good education there.
So we were thinking about going to St. Joe's. Our whole family went there. Almost our whole family. But like, I don't know. I didn't count, but I think 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 9 cousins go there. 6 of our like mom's siblings went there. Ton of people. Grandfather coached there 50 years. 8th grade year, I had probably a dozen buddies, and I knew 25 people going to Prep. Did the shadow day, loved it, and was like, oh, I'm going here. And it's because a lot of guys were going there, but also, I just liked the environment when we were there. What would you tell anyone thinking about Prep as a high school choice? I know a lot might have changed, but I think the principals are still there, and a lot of the teachers are still there.
I think the education was awesome. I think the guys, the teachers, everything about it, just a great atmosphere. Especially being a man, like growing up, being a boy and then growing into a man. Like I thought it was just a great spot.
What do you think about it being all guys? Is that a problem? Because you hear that sometimes.
No, dude, that was the best.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
It allows you to be, I don't want to, I mean, I guess your true self a little bit. Be a little
100%.
like when it's all guys around and you're not competing to impress. And
it was just an awesome time. Just good camaraderie, great guys.
It was great. I know it's a little more strict, I think, now with rules. going off campus, free periods, what you could do then. But it's still, I would definitely send boys there 100%.
Absolutely.
And then the network afterwards, I feel like is very strong in regards to wanting to help other guys that went to prep. Like I 100% will make introductions for prep guys. I've already done it in the last week or so, to other prep guys, to Fordham people, to just people I know.
Yeah.
I had a couple freshmen and sophomores in college that want to get into banking, sales, and trading, and made some intros to friends that are still on the street that are working in those positions.
100%. You want to give back, spend more time there, help those guys out, and they're all great kids who have worked with us at AFC in the internship program.
Not even those that have worked with us, but yeah, we have had interns in with us from prep. They do a 3-day experience in April, and we've done that I think 3 years now,
Yeah.
2 or 3 years, which has been a blast.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Okay, so Fordham, what do you think?
Great time, dude. Great 4 years being right outside the city.
Bronx, New York.
Bronx, New York.
Arthur Ave.
Phenomenal food scene down there.
Yep. Great campus. Beautiful campus.
And it was awesome being a train ride away from home. Just 90 minutes. You could get back home, see the family, go to Nana's house.
Yeah.
Do Sunday dinner there, and then come back with 2 big bags of food ready to go for the week.
So funny. I definitely came home a lot on Sundays or weekends, usually Sundays, just for the day trip, which was awesome that we were able to do that.
And then after Fordham, or really during getting licensed there too, I think was huge. Mom and Dad kind of pushing us still, hey, get your license. You might not need it right now or use it, but you never know what happens.
Did you get licensed after college or during?
Going into senior year, had my license.
Oh, the summer?
Yeah.
So I got licensed the October of my senior year. Graduate in May. I'm going to start working a little bit with Dad. Graduate in May, leave for a year, and then start till full-time June 2020. So you got licensed. You're going into your senior year.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So September 2019.
Awesome.
Graduated May 2020.
So you graduate. COVID starts in March. Job market's tough. I remember we were looking for like opportunities to go work in another firm.
It was tight. Yeah.
Commercial, middle market lending. Like you're in that space kind of. And not a lot of hiring freezes.
Yeah.
Graduation canceled. Hiring freezes. What happened with you coming to AFC? Like, how did that unravel?
That was right.
Because I don't remember that part. It's July. I know you started.
Yeah, it was right around that time you were working at City, and we're coming back often. And then I think at one point you came back full time, and we're like, I'm just gonna work remotely. You had the setup above the garage in Dad's office, and I was like, you know what? Might as well just start shadowing. And at that point, I was processing Dad's loans.
Oh, no way.
So I wasn't like originating, but I was just processing.
Yeah.
Just learning from him, requesting docs from borrowers in the process. And it was a great like start. And then once you were like, you know what, I want to come back on full time, that was where I was like, all right, let's get after it.
Unreal. So yeah, I think my day was June 12th of 2020 was like my final day. And then I started June 13th. And you started a couple weeks after that.
Yeah.
Full time.
Pounding the pavement.
Unbelievable. What was the first year like? First 6 months?
It was so much learning in the first 6 months, and then it was trying to go out and actually get business and service clients and really like understand loan products, but then help buyers and market ourselves as well.
What is it like as a new loan officer trying to go out, generate opportunities when you're not experienced? Like it's a little different growing up in the business, having Dad, because every night at dinner, we're talking about mortgages. So you had like an idea, but what is it like when you're brand new going out? What advice would you give?
Great question.
And what would you do if you're brand new?
First thing I would say is just build a contact list of 300 people. They could be friends, family, could be friends of parents, and just start letting everybody know that you're in the business. The most important thing that I feel getting into the business is letting people know what you're doing and then offering education to those people, whether it be first-time home buyers. We've been talking about it recently, what it looks like to rent compared to owning a home, what your net worth looks like and the differences. If it's somebody who already owns a home, what a move-up analysis would potentially look like. Really just providing value and education to people in the field and letting everybody know that you're in it.
Love that. Definitely need to let people know when you get started too. You want to work with a company, a team, an LO that is originating business, so you can get your hands or get your eyes on a lot of files and a lot of reps, because that's how you're going to see different scenarios and start to see what comes up. Like, you won't always, like right now, off the top of my head, borrower with child support, alimony, or like child support, they're paying it, alimony, they're paying it, or in the vice versa, if you're getting child support income, like, you need to have a continuance of that history over a 3-year period. Like, it's a one-off thing that you're not thinking about. If you see that somebody's getting it for the next, they're getting $3,000 a month, but their kid's 16, you can't use that unless you provide a document that says they're getting it until they're 21. And then it's like, well, that's how you have to like problem solve and figure things out.
It's crazy. You don't know anything when you get into the mortgage business until you start looking at files, until you get put through these different situations. So you're 100% right. The more files you touch, the same thing, the more people you meet or the more calls you make, the more activity you have, the more knowledge you'll have and the better off you'll be.
I think it's a lot about problem solving that you can't, as a loan officer, you're running your own business almost, and it's about problem solving each application / client, or like each problem that comes up, where you have to figure out how can we get this done. And it's important, and I think being a new loan officer, to know your client's background profile, who they are, and their specific situation. Because as what I've noticed lately is, in the last couple years, a lot of the mortgage business is going not remote, more online based. And if you're a W-2 salaried borrower, making $150,000 a year, 20% down, good credit, it's going to be no issues at all. But when you start to get into these scenarios where borrowers might have like hair, everybody's different. Everybody has stuff that pertains to them that the next person doesn't. That's where you need to problem solve. That's where you need to know your borrower, ask questions, make sure your initial consultation, you're going deep with them, asking the right questions, make sure you take good notes for your team so they could review it and understand what's going on. Because even once you're under contract, like once you pre-approve a client, they start looking at homes, they go under contract, their loan goes into processing and underwriting, the better of a job you do up front asking those questions, the smoother the process is going to be for the borrower and for the team working with that borrower.
100%.
And it all starts up front.
And going on that, for new LOs, super important to have a good team behind you. Somebody you could go to for underwriting questions. If you need to look at somebody who's self-employed or tax return income.
Yep.
Just having somebody to lean on who's been in the field. I mean, for us, it was Dad.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we're kind of taking the role with that.
Yeah, I mean, if guys have questions, come to us. We have Rose, our underwriter. We have scenario desk we could go to. So there's different outlets. If we don't know the answer, Dad, Rose, our underwriter, any of our scenario desk team that can help provide those answers if we're not sure right away at the moment. So where are we at now with AFC? What's the plan for this year, you'd say?
We've got some big goals. This year we want to do $100 million.
Awesome.
In loan volume. And that's between all the LOs on the team here.
Yep. Fantastic. Wow. How are we going to hit that? What do we have lined up? What's the game plan?
We focus, our biggest focus right now is agents. So pouring into our relationships.
Yep.
Helping with marketing, events, getting in person with them, and then getting in front of potential clients as well. So throwing first-time home buying seminars, listing events or home seller events, anything we could do to help promote their business as well. So this year I know we've got over a dozen events on the calendar for agents. We've got our cigars every month that we have.
Yeah.
We've got our content days that we host in the office every month. And then presentations at Board of Realtors and brokerages, educating them on how to get more business from their current database.
I like how we have events to stay in front of business partners that are just fun. Then we have video content days, which are great ways to help agents, advisors, accountants, whoever we have come out, our sales team, create video content that is education-based and get it in front of their sphere to generate lead opportunities, to generate questions, to have people raise their hand and say, hey, this is interesting, this is intriguing, I want to learn more. The video content days help with that. Cigar nights, something like that, where you get a chance to get in front of your partners a little more in depth, and you're asking questions of like, what problems are you running into? What can we help with? Where's your business at right now? What can we do? And it's that problem solving. It's trying to, sit down over an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and figure out how can we collaborate with our business partner to be able to help them grow their business, but also solve problems that they're running into right now that we might have run into and solved, that we've heard other business partners have had and how they solved it, and just be able to figure, come to solutions.
Connect the dots, introduce people to each other. Absolutely.
That's a big piece of it, as well as the relationship aspect of being able to introduce a real estate agent to a real estate attorney to a let's say, a real estate attorney to a CPA to a financial advisor. I made an introduction today to a client who runs a steel, metal, and fabrication business and contracting to her surveyor. Like, being able to put the dots together and help other people expand their network, I think, is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And something that if you're meeting a lot of people on the phones with people, do a good job with work, people will appreciate the introductions you make and then also take them seriously.
Absolutely. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've also been a part of or started to really expand this year has been getting more involved in the community. So whether it be through like the Chamber of Commerce, the Board of Realtors, or just giving back through like local food shelters, getting involved with different town organizations. That's something that we're trying to do at AFC with our business partners, any way that we could get back in front of people in the community and give back to the community. It's been huge for us.
The board of, like you said, realtors, and the education piece, I think, is going to be a big thing to lean on as well. Because I think, I forgot who said it. It was actually one of the top LOs in the country, I think. But it was something along the lines of information attracts, education attracts, information motivates, kind of like if you educate people, it'll attract them into your sphere. If you give them the information of what's going on in the market, it'll motivate them to do business, to make decisions, and they just feel more like being educated about the market, whether it's good or bad, just helps clients, business partners, ourselves be more confident in how to win in that market. Because the market is always changing, it's always adapting. We need to be in a place where we can educate our clients and business partners on how to win in that market. It could be 2-1 buy downs. It could be borrower putting down 20% or more and using, waiving your appraisal contingency, and how it does not impact your cash to close or your total monthly payment, which is a big thing that I think anyone putting 20% down in a competitive market should consider. It's not waiving an inspection contingency, but shortening it from a 7 to 10 day to a 3 to 5 day period, having somebody lined up that could come out right away, knock that out. It's having your loan underwritten before putting an offer in. So all these different things of, what you can do to make your offer more attractive. Because if we help our clients and business partners win more deals, we, have their offers accepted, we benefit as well.
100%. Taking a step back, actually, one thing that I wanted to touch on was when we first got started, it was tough being a younger LO, and you feel like sometimes you don't know as much. Just getting out there, getting in the field, learning different programs or seeing a lot of files, but also getting into the actual field, meeting with business owners, meeting with economic development chairs, going to planning and zoning events was huge to find out what's going on in the area. And then you could relay that over to other business partners, homeowners, and just have great info of what's going on locally in the town.
If you could just broker information, you learn, you educate, and then people will give you a chance. If they know you have a good team, you're willing to hustle. You might not know the answer, but you're willing to find it out. Mm-hmm. And people want to bet on someone like that, and they will give that person an opportunity. So I think that's a great way to get started. Going to economic development meetings for the town, going to meet with the head of the economic development departments at different towns, have those conversations, share those conversations with business partners, let them know what's going on around town, because most people don't know. But having an email that summarizes it is a great way to get your name out there.
Yeah, who doesn't want to find out new development projects that are going on in their area, new businesses that are opening up?
100%. Is there anything else you want to talk about in regards to the education piece for home buyers?
Yes, dude, 100%. The biggest thing, especially we're young. We help a lot of first-time home buyers. That's one of our biggest, I guess, clients or spheres, is educating them upfront on what the monthly payment looks like, including taxes, insurance, private mortgage insurance, as well as the total cash to close. So not only the down payment, but also the closing cost portion, knowing what goes into that, all the numbers that are broken out, and then really seeing it for yourself. So if you're looking at a property that's $500,000 for a starter home, you know exactly what you're getting into, what your monthly payment's going to be that won't change for 30 years. So you feel confident when you go to put in an offer, which helps with some of those things that you mentioned, waiving appraisal contingency, things like that.
If you're educated about what your payment is going to be, what your cash to close is going to be, how a $5,000 price increase is going to impact your payment, $25, $30, $10,000, double it, $55, $60, you will know, or you'll be more confident putting an offer, and you can be more aggressive, which means you're going to win more opportunities versus the other person who, in a tight timeline situation, when you have a highest and best offer due by 5 p.m. and it's 3:30, and you need to make a snap decision of do I really want this house? Well, I don't really want to pay $24,000 more to win the house. Well, if it's only going to cost you $140 a month, then that's a different conversation, a different thought. $24,000 sounds like a lot of money. $140 a month, a little bit more digestible.
Definitely.
Being able to think through that, big opportunity for loan officers to educate clients, because not every company or loan officer is doing that. And I think financial literacy, from investing in real estate to the long-term benefits of real estate, if you can educate, you will, like I said, attract the right people that you want to work with and clients. And the benefits of real estate, a lot of it's amortization. You're not going to be able to benefit in the amortization if you don't start buying real estate, because if you look at a 30-year amortization schedule, I was looking at the other day, if you had a 3% interest rate, I think in year 7, you start paying more principal than interest. Today, with a 7% interest rate, you don't start paying more principal than interest till year 21. I also saw something, if you were to take out a 30-year mortgage in 2021 when rates were 3%, you pay $374,000. Oh, I don't know the loan amount. That's the important piece. But $374,000 of interest and principal back. Today, it was like $750,000. Obviously, the loan amount, I don't know if it was a $300,000 loan, is important.
Still over double.
But it's double the amount of interest over the life of the loan, which is crazy. So it's getting more expensive. Affordability is getting tougher. To buy a home today, you have people definitely getting gift funds from family, bringing on co-borrowers like parents, getting down payment assistance, loans, and grants like CHAFA, time to own. You're seeing people buying multifamilies to get rental income to cover the cost of their mortgage so that they can live in one unit, rent the other unit out to bring down their cost of living. Getting roommates, even if they're buying a single-family home with 3-bedroom, buy a single-family, live in 1 bedroom, rent the other 2 bedrooms out. We're seeing a lot of those things where that's what it takes to buy a home today. And if Fed has started cutting interest rates back in September, we're now in January. It's been almost 4 months. And although they've cut, I want to say 100 basis points, 1%, mortgage rates are up over a full percent since they started that. Inflation is now 3.6% projected for this year. Maybe it'll get up to 4%. I was reading about economies in Europe. German inflation is over 3% right now. So if inflation continues at that pace, you want to own assets. That means a $400,000 home today is worth $412 next year. It's worth $426 the year after that. It's worth $440 the year after that. So in 3 years, it goes up almost 10% in value. It's only going to make it harder and harder to afford that because wages are not increasing at the same pace. Mm-hmm. So high level, what will happen is if you don't own assets, you will be left behind on a long enough time horizon. It might not play out in 1, 3, or 5 years, but 10, 20, 30 years makes a big impact. So finding ways to acquire, buy real estate, hold on to it. And it can be any assets, stocks, could be, I don't really, crypto's up for debate, but like Bitcoin, among other things. But putting your money away into assets is so important today. I like real estate because of the cash flow it provides, because of the amortization schedule. You're able to get leverage, which is tougher to do in other markets. And you get the appreciation, which usually keeps pace with inflation. So those are some of the things we're seeing. I think communicating that to clients, educating them will help our clients become wealthier. If you help your clients make money, they will refer you strongly and want to have other people work with you.
Yeah. And going on that, one other thing, different loan products that we offer at AFC Mortgage Group. So on top of the conventional, Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, we're also doing DSCR, investor loans, no income verification, and we have your down payment assistance, so the time to own, like you said, helping the first-time home buyers who maybe don't have the down payment or closing costs to get into a home.
There's a few things. I mean, even just conventional loans, you want to make sure you're working with, a loan officer that understands the guidelines for the first-time homebuyer products with those loans. So Fannie Mae Home Ready, Freddie Mac Home Possible, where you're able to put down as little as 3%. You're going to get a slightly better interest rate. Your PMI is going to be cheaper than if you go regular conventional. The interest rate difference might be 0.25% on the life of a $400,000 loan. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. And if you have a loan officer that's just running a regular conventional loan, doesn't even think about, you make $100,000 a year, you'd qualify for a home ready product. You're saving money on PMI and interest rate. We're seeing a lot of, talked about it yesterday at lunch, renovation loans. People buying a home, fixing it up, hiring a contractor, doing cosmetic work, maybe even a little bit more than that, because the ideal home they want to buy in a place like Connecticut where supply is so low, is limited, that they are going to buy I have one going on at West Hartford, a 350 home. They're going to put $50K of work into it. It'll probably be worth $460-ish, $475 afterwards, so they'll have a little bit of equity. But they're going to create the home they want because they can't find it on the market. So they're working with a licensed and insured general contractor. We're helping them with the financing. One of our buddies is helping on the real estate side, and kind of like come together as a team to put that together, where once we close on it, 45, 50 days, they will do the renovations over the next 4 to 5 months.
I love that. It's a great way for somebody who's buying their first house to start building a ton of equity right off the bat.
Yep, not for everybody. I think more. I read something on a Housing Wire yesterday. More and more people are opting for houses that are fully done, fully renovated. They don't want to do a thing. They just want to move in ready. You're paying a premium for that. Everybody wants it. There's less of those out there. And in Connecticut, there's more existing home supply than there is new home supply, versus you go out west, down south, where they're building a lot of homes in suburban communities. There's more new home supply. So there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot to cover. Working with somebody who's in the business full time is important. Somebody that's in the weeds, and also that's understands the education piece of building a portfolio, or even just one home you want to buy. What will happen over a 30-year period as real estate is an investment, and then of course just finding a company loan officer that will get you to the closing table. That's also very important too. It's a huge cherry on top. More than that, actually, I would say, with delivering a great customer experience too.
Dude,
I before we end, I always say our number one client, I'm so stuffed up, but our number one client is our sales team, then our operations team, then our business partners, and then the actual home buyer. And if we take care of the first three, the fourth will take care of themselves. So, they'll be taken care of. So it was a blast having you on, V-Man.
Bro, I appreciate it.
100%. Oh, my God.
This is great.
Chano, thank you.
No doubt.
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah.
Let's go.